Welcome back to the Gridiron Grind with Andrew and Lance. We've got a really, really fun episode for you guys this time. We have our first mock draft simulation. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do the first round, and we're going to do all 32 teams. I'm going to take the odds in my division in the NFC North. Lance is going to take the evens in his division in the NFC East. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. We're going to see how it goes. Let's get started here. I'm going to share my screen. Dive right into this. Okay, here we go. All right. We have our PFF mock draft simulation here. Let's jump right in. I picked all th 32 teams. Let's go here. On the clock, we have the Tennessee Titans, who are obviously, I have the odds. Obviously, they're taking Cam Ward. I think that's might be the one of the most slam dunk picks, unless they trade out, which we'll do trades later because I kind of think they're gonna might trade out, but we won't do trades this round. We'll just draft pick by pick. So I'm going Cam Ward to the Tennessee Titans. All right, what do you got for the Cleveland Browns? Do you want to
Oh
see a certain list here, or do you want to just look through them, or who do you
no,
got?
I know who I'm looking at as far as for what I'm prioritizing.
Okay,
Andrew, it's tough for me. I
this is a tough pick, honestly.
if I'm the Browns, right, and I'm thinking
Mhm.
through the options, I think they're not even going to think about quarterback. I think that they are
I might be
treating
feeling the same way. I
I
might be
think they're
feeling the
treating
same way.
Kyler Pickett as the bridge until something happens, right? Maybe it's Kirk Cousins,
Hmm.
maybe there's someone else, but I feel like
Right.
that's the narrative they're going into with this draft.
I
Here's the
kind of
thing is
feel the same way.
I'm looking at long term. Who could be there the long term and actually make a huge difference for your team?
Hmm.
And I'm gonna sound crazy for saying this, but I think they're gonna go for Abdul Carter. I think Abdul
I
Carter is
like
who I
it.
would take. I feel
Yeah,
like make an embarrassment of riches, put him next to Miles Garrett. My concern about
that'd
Travis
be
Hunter
insane.
is
Hmm.
how much are we looking at a 10-year career? I feel like you could reasonably look at Abdul Carter. I know there's the injury factors that have been there, but
Right.
defensive linemen, offensive linemen have a better track record for longer careers.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
So that's what I'd go with.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. That's going to be a nasty pass rush that the Cleveland Browns are going to have. Okay.
So then
The New
then we go
York.
back to me, right? Because it's an NFC
Yeah,
East
it's
team.
very true. That's very true. Yep. You've got the Giants. So you get to pick three in a row. You got the Patriots after
Um,
that.
we'll go ahead and scroll down a little bit, Andrew. Find the
Okay.
quarterbacks
Okay. Let me
because
just
because they're
click
going to take
boom.
Shador Sanders
You believe so? Okay.
in a truly "what are we doing" move. I think that is what they're about to do.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, they signed Russell Wilson, they have Jameis Winston, and both those guys might be just guys to kind of lift them to maybe halfway through the year. Then they might give the keys to Shadur. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. All right. Who you got on the clock with the Pats?
Oh, wait, am I? I'm going again. Three picks in
Yeah,
a row.
yeah. Three
Man,
picks in a
Andrew,
row,
I'm
baby.
not ready for this pressure. I'm feeling like I'm hyperventilating over here. Oh,
There's
you got to
one
go.
guy I really want you to lead me at pick five because I really wasn't there. But who you got?
You got to go Travis Hunter. I feel like at that position,
That
like if you're the
yeah,
Patriots, you're so happy, elated about the way things have fallen to get Travis Hunter.
100%. 100%, yeah. Yeah. In my opinion, with Travis Hunter, we'll go with that pick because that makes sense. I think it's going to be like a 90% corner and then like certain packages, maybe five, six plays on offense a game. That's kind of what I
Yes.
see. Because there's no way he's going to play both sides of the field that much. He'll have a
Hmm.
2 year career if he does that because he's going to get hurt all the time. He's going to be gassed. So I think he's a better corner than receiver. Um, He's still a good receiver, but I think he's a better corner. So I see him doing like a 90-10, 85-15, kind of something like that. Okay, he fell to me. Give me Tep McMillan. I am a huge fan of this kid. I might be too high on him, but he is such a smooth route runner. He's got great hands. He's big. He's like 6'3", 6'4". Not the fastest guy in the world, but give me Tep McMillan to team up with Brian Thomas Jr. Ooh, wee. That's going to be a fun, high-powered offense because I think their new coach is going to kind of get things settled a little bit, at least best that he can do with Trevor Lawrence. Um, Man, that'd be a lot of fun if this happened. So I really, really want this to happen. Give me Ted McMillan.
I like it. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's a good move on your part. Um, are we at six? No, we're at
Oh, we're at six with the Raiders. We were just talking about this.
Andrew. The Raiders have phoned it in. It is
They
Ashton
probably
Jeanty.
they probably phoned it in at pick four because you pretty much know that the Patriots and the Jags aren't going to take him because they both have running backs. Now, is Genty better than the running backs they have? Possible. It's very possible, but they have running backs, so they're going to look to fill a different hole. So yeah, I'm there. I'm there with you.
The only way it doesn't happen in my mind is if they get a trade, which I think could happen. If they could
Yeah.
get back, let's say that the Carolina Panthers like somebody that's come up, right? Let's say Travis Hunter drops, or
Right.
maybe it's
Right.
McMillan drops. I could see them saying,
Fair.
"Hey, Panthers, we can guarantee you get this guy. Give us a
Yeah.
fourth, and we'll drop
I
down
like
to
that.
8, and then that way
Hmm.
they're still in front of other competition." But yeah,
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, it's very possible. We'll do trades at some point. That's gonna be so much fun because maybe we should do something kind of like what I forgot who wrote on ESPN, but he did an all trades mock draft where every team traded.
I like
It
it.
was crazy to see, but yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. So for the Jets at 7, this one is interesting. They can go a lot of different ways here. I'm leaning toward a certain player, but I don't know if that is the right move. But I think I'm just gonna do it. I think I'm just gonna do it. It's not gonna make a lot of sense on paper, but I'm going Tyler Warren, tight end, because
Wow,
they just lost oh what was his name? Oh man, I can't remember his name.
Conklin,
Conklin.
Conklin.
Yes, they just lost Conklin. They don't really have anyone in that room right now. And what is a mobile quarterback's best friend? A tight end. And Tyler Warren is a legit tight end. He has the potential to be on that Trey McBride level that we were just touching on. And um to get that kind of a weapon for this team that already has Garrett Wilson and a good running back in Brees Hall, I think Brees Hall is a slight tick overrated, but he's still good. I'm not saying he's not good. Um, Now they got something going here because their offensive line is decent. It's not great, so I was almost going to pick Will Campbell, but I think Tyler Warren would be really dynamic in offense. So I'm going there. I want to throw a little curveball.
Oh, this is tough, Andrew. I'm trying to think through this next job or this next pick.
Hmm. It's some of
Let
these are going to be a little difficult.
I think it's Will Campbell.
Okay, I like it.
I think they got to upgrade their offensive line. I think that he
Yeah,
makes a
they
lot
got
of
to
sense
protect
in this
Bryce
spot.
Young. Hmm. They got to protect Bryce Young. I get it. Okay, now the Saints. Hmm. I think if the Saints have Mason Graham falling this far, there's no way they're going to pass on him.
Yeah, they're running up
Yes,
to the
there's no
stadium to the
way.
stand to
I
grab it.
can see them interested in Jahdae Barron and interested in Jahad Campbell and even the tackle from Missouri. I see them interested in those guys, but Mason Graham being there, you just can't pass that up. So I'm going there with the Saints. And then I already know where I'm going with the Bears because they're up next. They're in my division. They didn't get Genty, which I'm happy for, but they are not leaving this first round without a running back. So I'm going to be drafting Omarion Hampton to the Bears, which I hate, by the way, because he is a really good running back. Not as good as Genty, but he's a really good running back.
Man,
And to have the Bears get him, that sucks. But I do not see them passing on that because this is Ben Johnson. What does he do? He likes to establish the run. He already fixed his offensive line to an extent, got much better. Now he needs a back. They have They have a couple decent backs, but they don't
Hmm.
have that dude. And
No.
with Amari and Hampton, they have that dude now. And this is going to be a problem in the NFC North. Um, okay, so I got the next one with the 49ers. And again, I think this is one of those running up to the podium because Jahdae Barron is still there. And they lost. Oh, who was their corner that they just lost? Actually, I think he's still a free agent. I don't think he's signed yet. But their best corner, they did not re-sign. I forgot his name. It's not coming to mind. But corner is a big piece missing right now. And yeah, their offensive line could use some help, but I don't really. There's no guards out here this high. I mean, Armand Membu could be something. But I'm going Jahdae Barron here with a pick 11. I think they're gonna get that defense rolling, and Barron is really good. That's a guy that I really, really wanted for the Vikings because he can play safety, he can play slot, he can play corner, he can play everywhere in the secondary. And that's such a unique weapon that Brian Flores would love. But I do not see him passing, like moving out of the top 13, 14 picks. So I'm going Jahdae Barron to the 49ers.
It's a good pickup, and I definitely can see that working out that way. The hard part is, I feel like after you get to 10, everything is free flowing from here.
Pretty
It doesn't
much.
feel like I
Yeah.
don't feel like there's one person in particular I feel passionate about.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I'm trying to think through. I
And
know there's a lot of hype about Mike Green. I've read about that, and
yeah, yeah.
I could see the Cowboys
Great edge rusher.
maybe
Hmm.
looking at that.
Maybe thinking they're going to replace Micah Parsons with him.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm
Yeah,
looking through my list here and I'm trying to think of all the other people that might make sense.
yeah, for
I
sure.
also gotta, no, I don't think, I was thinking about maybe they go offensive line here, but I don't think they're quite there yet. I think the second
Yeah,
round for sure, I think it would
that
make
makes sense.
sense.
Hmm.
I think it's a
I'm
little
with you.
high. Let's go Mike Green. I'm going to give him Mike Green
Okay,
here.
I like it.
think he's going to be a little raw, but I think they might feel like he has that
That's
potential
a really
to.
good pick. If the Cowboys pick Mike Green, that'd be the first time that they pick something smart. That'd be
In
a
a
very
while.
smart pick.
And
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. Ever since I don't know. I don't know when the last first round pick they picked was really good, but yeah, that would make too much sense. And then here with the Dolphins, to me, this also is kind of a no-brainer in a way because they lost Javon Holland, so they had a big old gap at safety, and Malachi Starks is just sitting there staring at him. There's a lot of good talent here that they could use. Like Will Johnson makes a lot of sense too to pair up with Ramsey, but I can't pass up Malachi Starks. This it's that kid's really good, super stud safety. They have a hole there. I got to go there. Got to do it.
good pickup. I hated Andrew because he was supposed to go at number 32, but it's fine. It's okay. It's all right. He just
Yeah.
he just goes 19 picks earlier. It's fine.
Yeah, they overdrafted him, but some people do that.
Uh,
Oh, the Colts. This is a really interesting pick here because there's so many different ways they could go.
well, and that's kind of what I'm trying to think about in my head because Campbell, to me, looks like a good option.
Yeah.
Johnson could potentially be a good fit, but maybe not. Pierce is another one that I think could make sense for them.
Hmm.
I feel like they
Hmm.
need more help on their defensive interior to be more competitive there. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to make sure I'm keeping all my options in mind here because, like I said, once we get past the first 10, everything kind of like free flows.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. This draft is interesting because like you said, the first 10 picks are studs. They are no-brainers. These are great players. Then like the next 50 to 60 picks are
It's
not that far
anybody's.
off from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
let's go Campbell. I feel like
Okay.
Campbell would be a
Chad
little bit
Campbell.
of a reach in the spot, but I think it's
Yeah.
respectable. Like it's a solid
Hmm.
move, not inspiring, but I
Yeah.
think that's what they'll do.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. All right. The Falcons, the team that has no money because they paid Kirk Cousins like $180 million for him to play 10 games. And so they can't get any free agents. They have a few glaring holes, and one of the biggest is a hole they should have picked up last offseason or last draft. But instead they drafted Michael Penix Jr., which in the end doesn't look like a horrible move because Kirk Cousins wasn't going to be the guy, and we all knew that going in. But they have not addressed edge rusher yet. And James Pierce Jr., this might be a little high for him, be a little bit, but it's a huge need. They have some weapons on offense. Their offensive line has some holes, but they need a center more than a tackle, and I don't think Armand Mimbo is going to really be that guy for them in that spot. So I'm going James Pierce Jr. to the Falcons. Get them some pass rush going.
Oh, this is just another spot, man, where I'm not loving
The options.
it's that, same thing. It's the turkey sandwich scenario, right? Where you're at the 16th pick. You
Uh-huh.
would want to get something more than a turkey sandwich or roast beef sandwich here, but I feel like that's the value
Yep.
they're going to end up getting.
Hmm.
Part of me wonders, I know that people don't think that wide receiver is something they should be considering, but how sold are the Cardinals
Mm.
on the fact that they've got what they need? Because here's what I'm looking at, and I'm looking at wide receiver,
Hmm.
and I feel like
Hmm.
Matthew Golden
Yeah.
actually wouldn't be a
Speedster.
bad pickup here. I
Speedster.
like
Yeah.
I like what he has to offer, and I feel like they're going to not do it. So let's go ahead, go back to the big board for me,
Okay.
Andrew.
Main board. Gotcha.
Yeah, I was going to go with it. Let's go Will Johnson. I think this actually is a good value
Okay.
spot. Let's do that. Let's
That
go Will
that's a
Johnson.
yeah. A lot of people say he's the second best corner after Hunter. So that would be kind of a steal at 16 if that's the case. Yeah, help out that defense. I like it. Okay. Now this pick to me is an easy one because the Bengals have a lot of weapons, a
Uh,
lot of holes on defense, but to me, their biggest issue right now is their offensive line. It is not that good. And I know they don't technically need a tackle, but maybe they kick a tackle inside at guard because they need some help. And I don't really like a lot of the defensive options for 17. Um, Kenneth Grant's great, but he's kind of a one-trick pony. He's more of a pass rusher, not really that all-around defensive tackle. I know because Vikings are trying to get him, and I think he's going to go too high. But I like Armand Mimbo here. I think I'm going there, and I think they kick him inside to guard, try to protect Joe Burrow because that's the franchise. And without him, they are a below average team. So that's where I'm going. And honestly, to get him at 17, he fell a little bit. He fell a little bit. So I like that pick.
Andrew, you took away my pick. That is who I was. If I'm Seattle, I am
With the
running to the
Seahawks.
podium for Armando.
Uh-huh.
That's the guy I'm like,
I
I want
mean,
him.
Josh
I
Simmons is
want him.
still there. He's all
I
right.
want him. I want him. I want him. I want him. I want him.
Uh,
And I still want him. And just so you know, I still want him.
hmm. Hmm.
It's just
You know what you could do? The Seahawks, they can get another slot receiver and draft Luther Burden third. Oh man, too funny.
they might do it. They would be they're just trying to be the Giants of the wide receiver.
There you go. There you go.
Like that's what you want to do.
Hmm.
I like Simmons. I'm just struggling to think if that's who they're looking for in that scenario. And
You know who's interesting, who's still available, who I know I want for my team? The Lions want him. You guys might want him. Gray Zabel.
mm, I thought about him. I'm just wondering, is he a little high here? And that's the part I get. It's not,
Probably, probably.
but they're
Yeah.
stuck. They're stuck in a situation. We're not doing trades. Yeah,
Yet.
I
Yeah.
thought it. Let's do Zabel. I like it. I feel
Okay.
like, and I feel like the
Okay.
Seahawks are going to be more conservative this draft. They're going
Let's
to
see
go
where
with the
he's
more of
at.
like
There he is.
that is
Okay.
our need.
Ray
Yeah,
Zabel. I hate that because I was literally going to pick him up for the Vikings to have that offensive line be the best in the business. But it makes sense. I get the pick. Okay. The Buccaneers. So Luther Burden doesn't really make sense because I like their wide receiver trio. I like Mike Evans. They kept Godwin. I can never remember his name. I think it's actually McMillan. There's another McMillan. I
yeah,
think
McMillan,
it's
McMillan.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
yep.
really like him a lot. That is a very
Hmm.
underrated wide receiver three. They got a great wide receiver trio there. So they probably need some defensive help. Their defense is decent, but it can lose a little pick me up. So I'm gonna go with some edge rushing for them. I'm going Donovan is Izurike. I think that's how you pronounce that name. So there we go. I'm getting some pass rush because I don't really have a lot of pass rush on that team. So that's where I'm going with the Buccaneers. Now we're going with the Broncos, who are this is an interesting pick because they don't have a lot of needs, honestly. They are a really good team.
I think it's got to be wide receiver here. To me,
I
if I'm
like it.
looking at it,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. Is it Amika? Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Emeka Egbuka. I think that's right. If we're pronouncing that incorrectly, we're not professionals at this. We're just
Listen,
guessing.
we're just two dads that do a podcast. It's
There you
fine. No one's
go.
gonna listen to us. Amika will never be able to hear this, so it's not a big
hmm
deal.
hmm
I just I like him. I feel like Sean Payton would probably lean towards Amika only because the fact I think Sean Payton's the type of guy that cares about having people that played at bigger schools, like
Fair.
on bigger
Fair. Yeah.
stages,
hmm
and I yes, I know Missouri's an SEC team, but they're also, I'd say, you know, more
The
mid-class
lowest.
SEC. Well,
Yeah.
Vanderbilt's, well, I can't say that. Sorry. Vanderbilt has now moved up. They're actually, being more competitive, but, the
hmm
Ohio State won,
That's the Ohio State.
they won the championship last year. By the way, I still think it's stupid that they have to say the Ohio State when you refer to that because, I mean, do I get to say the Brigham Young University Cougars or the Boise State Broncos? I mean, that sounds kind of silly,
hmm
but so let's go
hmm
Amika. Amika's who they're going to pick.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. That's a really good pick because they sneakily the wide receiver core is fine but not great. So yeah, I like that pick. Oh, I'm not wasting any time. All right, Steelers, get some Jackson Dart action, buddy. Boom. I'm already sold that that's happening, honestly.
Yeah,
I
I think
don't
it makes a lot of sense.
even if they get Rodgers, which would not be a smart move, but even if they get him, I kind of see that card already in like on Goodell's desk.
Hmm.
So that wasn't the easiest pick in the world for me. Easy, boom, done.
I
Charges.
go to tight ends for me, Andrew.
Okay, gotcha.
I think, yeah, let's go
Oh,
with
I see
Colston.
what you're doing.
Colston
You're
Loveland.
giving
That's who they're going to
Harbaugh's
go with.
boy back. That makes way too much sense. That
Yeah.
makes way too much sense. Yeah, I like that. Oh, I get three straight picks here. Okay. Oh, let's see. So the Packers, one of their biggest needs is pass rush help, and there's not really a whole lot here. So there's a couple things we know. The Packers never draft a first round wide receiver. That's just their philosophy. They never do it, even if they need it. Like you could say they're one of their main needs is wide receiver because they
Yes.
have a bunch of wide receiver two threes, no alpha, and their receivers low key get hurt all the time. All of
Yeah.
them, not just
Yes.
Watson, but all of them. So they really do need one, but they will not draft one in the first round. They will not do it. Um, I'm thinking either Grant or Simmons, but I think I'm going to go with pass rush. And I don't like me saying this name because this kid, Shamar Stewart, is a physical freak. He is so physically gifted. He hasn't really shown it fully as far as numbers go, but he has the potential to be a dude. And so I'm gonna draft him to the Packers. I hate it, but it makes too much sense. And then we get to Minnesota. Okay, Kenneth Grant is still there chilling. Walter Nolan's been a huge one we draft a lot and a lot of mocks. Derek Harmon, I like him. Oh, see, this is where I 100% would trade down because there's like five guys I like and I can get one of them later and get some draft compensation. But I think I'm gonna do a little different. I think I'm gonna pull a fast one on this one. Low key, wide receiver, mainly wide receiver three, is something that we need help with. Jalen Naylor is good, but he hasn't proven to be it. Addison's going to be suspended for 3 games this year, almost guaranteed. And he already has some off the field issues. Are we going to keep him for sure going forward? I don't know. I'm not sold on it. I've heard mixed bag on that. Luther Burden III is mainly a slot guy, but he is a really good slot guy. And if you have Jefferson getting two guys on him, Addison getting the next best guy, Hawkinson getting over the middle, I'm going Luther Burden III here. I think it's just an embarrassment
This
of
this
riches.
this feels like Justin Jefferson all over again.
It could be.
This
It could
this
be.
just
This
this
is
just gives me PTSD, Andrew, because I still remember after the Eagles passed up on Jefferson that the reason they passed up on
uh-huh.
him can't take an only slot guy. Just dumbest reasoning
Yep.
ever. I
That's totally fair. Now with this one though, Burden I think is only 5'11". No, actually no, that's Golden. I think Burden's like 6 foot. So he's not like a Justin Jefferson build, but yeah, I get it. He probably fell too far, and this is very possible. Luther Burden's probably going to get passed on a little bit as opposed to other receivers out there. Um, and you already took Ray Zabel. That would have been my number one, is Zabel, honestly. But that made sense where you got him. So Luther Burden the third, a lot of D tackles made a lot of sense. But I think I like the pick. I think we'll get our D tackles next year if this scenario happens because Jonathan
well,
Allen, Hargrave is going to be great for this 1 year.
right,
Next year
and
we
then
can
that
readdress.
and that's exactly what I was going to say. Is you guys put yourself in a position to get the best talent.
Exactly. BPA. BPA. Okay. Moving on here. Now I'm on the clock again with the Texans. And this is interesting because their defense is a legit squad. It's a squad. They got great pass rush. They have a pretty good secondary. It's not like elite, but it's pretty good. Um, but their offensive line sucks. So I'm going Josh Simmons. They need some protection for ZJ Stroud, and they just traded their best offensive lineman to the Commanders. They got a haul for him. I'm not saying that was a bad deal, but they need to replenish the O line, so I'm going Josh Simmons. I almost went receiver because that's a low key need too, but CJ Stroud needs to be protected. That kid's so good, and he had too much pressure in his face all year last year.
Yeah, and if you're the Rams right here, I am not loving the board. This is
Yeah,
not what I'm hoping for. I could see them talking themselves into banks.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
don't. They're not going to look at the defensive line. The defensive line I'm taking instantly off of the menu. That's
Oh
not
yeah,
something
their
they're
D
gonna.
line is young. It's really underrated, honestly. It is
Can
it's good.
can you go to the
It's good.
offensive lineman areas? Let's start out at offensive tackle.
OT and I'll go interior. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think you gotta. I think they're gonna go banks. I don't think they're gonna like
Yeah,
be ecstatic about the pick, but it's
yeah,
respectable. Like I think it's a solid pick.
yeah.
So let's go
With
banks.
what's left, yeah, I like it. I like it. They got Stafford for maybe 1 or 2 more years. They gotta do what they can to protect him. I like it. All right, Ravens. Okay, let's see what we have here. Interesting. Interesting. Um, the board didn't quite fall in their way, but I might do something crazy here. So, what do they have on offense? They have Derrick Henry, phenomenal. Lamar Jackson, phenomenal. The receiver core, though, they have Zay Flowers, who's good, but I wouldn't put him great. I wouldn't put him on that elite level. They have a couple good tight ends. I think they could use a speedster. I think I'm
You don't
going
think
Matthew
that
Golden here.
you don't think that DeAndre Hopkins solves their problems?
You know, not as far as speed goes. So I'm going Matthew Golden, which leads me to something that I absolutely hate happening. But Kenneth Grant going to the Lions makes too much
Oh boy,
sense.
that would
Um,
be quite the
yeah,
yeah.
and uh, I don't know how I can't pick this pick because there's not really any O linemen because their O line actually low key did get a little worse because they lost a couple guys. I think they lost who's that veteran
Kevin
that
Zeitler, is that
Zeitler.
right?
Yeah.
Zeitler,
Yeah, he went to the Titans,
the
I think.
Titans.
Um so yeah, so they could use a little O-line help, but the thing with guards in this draft is rounds 2 and 3 there are some interesting names that they might look at. So I mean their defense was solid last year, but not great. And then they had so many injuries, of course. So getting some more depth, that makes too much sense, and I just absolutely hate it. I hate this right now.
Oh man, this is so interesting to me because I'm looking at who's available, and PFF hates. I would say hates, but they are not high on Jalen Walker. But I have heard a
Yeah.
lot of buzz about Jalen Walker,
hmm hmm
and the Commanders are in front of the Eagles. And I feel like they're going to be in a situation where they're going to look at Mikael Williams and Walker, and they want to frustrate the Georgia Dog pipeline that's currently going up to Philadelphia right now, siphon
Uh-huh.
some of that fuel and bring it into their own place. So let's go with Jalen Walker. I think he's going to go to
Okay.
Washington.
Okay. And then we're kind of mixed up here, but this is back to even, so it's back to you.
And for Buffalo,
Maybe they go Mikael Williams.
yeah, I mean they
They
might go
just lost
Mikael
Von
Williams.
Miller.
I, I kind of like the Darius Alexander move.
Okay.
I
Interesting. Yeah.
I feel like on the back end they could use a little more help there.
hmm
I think they're going to go Darius Alexander.
Okay. All right. Alexander, you are a Bill. And then for my last pick for the Chiefs, this is interesting. Huh. There's not really their main needs just staring at me. This would be a classic trade down scenario because they don't really need D line. Um, their edge rushers were fine, not great, but they were good enough last year. And they have a pretty good linebacking core, honestly. So what I might do is go after Josh Conley Jr. This is probably a reach. He's probably more a second round guy, so they'd probably trade down and then get him. But since we're not doing any trades, and they obviously need O-line help. I mean, who they pick up? Was it Jalen Johnson or something like that? Who's their
Mm-hmm.
tackle that they replaced for the trade they
Tune.
made for the Bears? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they need to replace some O-line. That's really their biggest hole because there's no one really else here. So I'm gonna go Conley Jr. It's not a great pick. They should trade down for that, but no trades this round. And now we finish with your Eagles, and Walter Nolan is just staring at you right now.
Yeah,
Wow.
that
How did he get this far?
well, it depends on who you're talking about too, because
True.
some people love them because like I'm looking at Williams, and that's kind of who
Okay. You guys
I
do
don't
love your
know.
Georgia kids.
I'm trying to think who they would go in this scenario.
Uh-huh. There's some options.
To me it's one of those two. It's either Nolan or Williams, and
hmm
that's who they're
hmm
going to be playing with in their mind if that's how the board falls. Just trying to think through this for a second.
It's a big decision. And I think it's strange that PFF says that wide receiver is the first need that the Eagles have. Am I
Yeah,
missing something?
I well honestly, if guard is the second need they have, I don't know if I put guard that high. I'd put guard like at the end, unless they're going in an
Yeah.
order of like. I would not put. Edge I'd
Yeah,
put at one, and
edge
defensive
for
tackle's not
sure.
even on the list because we
Yeah,
just lost
I can
Williams.
kind
I
of
know
get corner. I can kind of get corner because you need more bodies in that room.
you,
Not necessarily a need for a starter, but
yeah.
you need more bodies. But yeah,
Give me
wide receiver.
Williams.
Okay, Kel
I think
Williams,
they're gonna go for
come on
Williams.
down.
I like the move, and I think that that kind of falls in line with some of the things that they do as far as
But didn't
Georgia.
give us a grade. How sad. But this is our draft right here. I like it. I like what we did. A lot of these made sense, you know.
Can you
Some of
believe
them
that in
might have
our
been a
mock
little
draft
reach.
that Travis Hunter went after Shadur Sanders? That just feels wrong. That just feels icky.
I
I
kind of agree.
ugh.
But all these moves, they made a lot of sense. There's a couple that could have been reaches that are probably a trade down scenario. Like that's a classic one there, and probably the Vikings are a trade down scenario. One of these is so there's a lot of trade down scenarios, and probably up here too.
Hmm.
But I like what we did here. I like it.
Man, I'm really
I
interested in
think what
that
I'm gonna,
Tyler Warren move for the Jets.
yeah,
Like that,
hmm
I could see it happening. I have no idea what they're going to do there. If they take a quarterback, then
yeah,
that would be weird. That would be very weird after the move they just made for Fields. But I understand why they would
yeah.
do it.
hmm
But
I
man,
kind of see them drafting
Jacksonville,
a quarterback like round 2 or 3, something like that. Grabbing like a
that
Tyler
to me
Show or
makes
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
that to me makes a lot more sense, and I could see that
hmm
potentially happening. So
Yeah, yeah, there were some tackles there that were interesting, and there were some edge rushers, but Fields could use that just that go-to target because when Garrett Wilson's getting double teamed, which he's going to get double teamed, and they don't really have a wide receiver two, and McMillan was
no,
already gone, so there's no one else there. So Tyler makes sense. Get another pass catcher for Fields.
Andrew, I'm still mad over the fact that you took Malachi Starks away from my Eagles. The man was supposed to free fall to 32.
Well, we'll do some more mocks. Maybe that'll happen.
Uh, that's okay. It's the one I'm torn on in most in particular for my picks, like the Shador Sanders one, I don't doubt. I just have this gut feeling in
Yeah,
my chest that,
yeah, that's fair.
like that the Giants are going to totally draft this guy, and everyone in New York's going to be like, "What are we doing? Why do we have such a
Yeah.
bloated QB room?" I feel like
hmm
the Abdul Carter one, I think was a bit of a reach slash maybe I'm not thinking things through enough, but
I like
he,
it because he honestly could be the best player in this draft
yes,
overall. Some people see him that
absolutely.
way. And edge rushers are highly valuable in this league. Get to the quarterback. And so I honestly would say they're probably, in my opinion, a tick above corners as far as valuable on defense. Because you can have an average secondary and have a great pass rush, and your defense is going to be great because of the history of, oh yeah, last year, the Vikings. Secondary was average at best, but we had a great pass rush and we had a top seven-ish defense in like pretty much every metric.
Hmm.
So you can get away with having just decent guys back there. And honestly, the Cleveland Browns secondary isn't that bad. They got some dudes. They got some dudes.
No, I think that the just looking at all the picks here, the two picks I'm loving the most for value, McMillan to the Jags, love that pick.
hmm
Think it makes way too much sense, and
hmm
Loveland to the Chargers. If that's how those
That,
two moves fall,
yeah. And I mean,
man,
how can you not, if Loveland is there for the Chargers at 22, how is he not already putting his hat on before the camera even goes to him? I mean, that's going to be the biggest money in the bank choice in the whole league. Harbaugh get his boy back.
oh, I was gonna say if I'm looking at the board too, if Kenneth Grant falls all the way down to 27 to the Ravens, I am the Eagles and I am calling in to trade up above the Detroit
Hmm.
Lions to get Grant. I feel like that
Yeah.
that's a move that makes a ton of sense. Where I could
Yeah.
see both
I could see that.
Washington and Detroit being competitive for wanting that pick to get
Hmm
Grant and the Eagles jumping both of them to get him.
hmm
That seems totally
Yeah.
possible.
I could believe that. I really could. Yeah. So I think what we could do is next mock draft we can flip it where I do the evens and the NFC East. You do the
Mm,
odds and NFC North.
I like
Make
it.
it a little interesting. Then our third mock draft, we could do trades. We could do trades and what we really think is gonna happen. Because in this simulation, you can force any trade you want. So we can just say, hey, you're gonna drop down to 22. I don't care what you say, and make it work. Um, yeah, I think that'd be fun. I think we do two more mock drafts. We might sneak in a third one, but I doubt it. We flip it and then we do trades. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I like it.
All right, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take screenshots of our picks to see how accurate we are. Because I'm
Oh,
curious.
I'm gonna be so wrong. We're gonna have a bunch of. It's gonna be like the terrible March Madness brackets. There's gonna be so much red on the ones
Oh,
that I picked.
Duke just ruined me. I mean, how could you give that game away? You're up by like 7 with 2 minutes left, and then you don't hit free throws, you turn the ball over, and you just fold like a cheap tenant. So that last 2 minutes for Duke is like Sam Darnold in the playoffs.
But yet Sam Darnold has the potential to work out better than Geno Smith.
What has Gino done in the playoffs?
I mean, he's only been there once. I'm just saying the overall sample
Same
size
with
feels
Sam Darnold. He's
stronger.
been there only once. I'm
Yeah,
just
but
saying
we're
they're like
talking
the
about
same quarterback.
one season, Andrew. Just one. Only one time has it worked out well.
That is probably the only argument I can agree with is he's done it once and it was on a souped up team that probably made him look better than he is.
Souped up
So I can agree
coach.
with that. hmm
Yeah,
But I just don't see Gino being a great quarterback overall in this league. He's like the 14th best quarterback, 13th in that range.
yeah, I would agree with you. And Sam Darnold's probably the 20th.
I don't know. I see him more like in that same 14 15 range. We could do a
Yeah.
quarterback ranking. That'd be fun.
I don't know, Andrew. That just ugh. I'm not feeling it. The Sam Darnold vibes are just gone after those two games. Just
Yeah.
100%
That cost
off
him
the
a lot of
train.
money. That cost him a lot of money. He was about to make 42 to 45 million a year after that Packers game. And then I don't give him I don't give him a lot of flack for the Rams game. He didn't play well, but that was a lot of offensive line and not adjusting coach wise. Like the coach didn't adjust when the pass rush was getting the quarterback with every snap. The Lions game, it was all Sam Darnold. All of it. I mean, how many opportunities in the red zone did we have? Because our defense stopped the vaunted Lions offense possession after possession after possession, and Sam Darnold could not hit a pass. He got pressured some, yeah, but that was a bad Darnold game. The
Yeah,
Rams, he didn't play well, but there was a lot of factors going against him in that game. Coach didn't coach well, offensive line didn't block well. It was just a bad team effort all around. I give him a little grace on that game, but not the Lions.
yeah,
That was a
yeah. I'm
train
with
wreck.
you. With you.
We could have won that game and been the one seed. And if we're the one seed, it's Vikings Eagles go for a fight and go to the Super Bowl. And that's going to be a fun game. But we got the 5 seed, and what happened happened.
Yep. You move on.
We move on to JJ McCarthy.
I like it.
Yeah, so I'll take a screenshot of this. I'll save it on my computer. We'll do a couple more mock drafts and we'll see what the similarities and the differences, and we'll see how accurate we are. I'm interested.
I like
If
it.
we can get like 30% correct, I think we did good.
That would be pretty incredible. I mean, to me, Andrew, in
Yeah.
my head, I'm just like, if I get even five picks right, wonderful.
hmm
I'll take it.
hmm Yep.
So,
And
yeah,
I would also say, because there's going to be a lot of trades we don't know about, there's probably gonna be like 15 trades in the first round. It just happens. I would say if we get the spot of the player right, we should get credit, even if it's a different team that traded
even
out.
if it's a different team.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that. Yes. No, I agree with
Because
that. Yeah.
we cannot predict all the trades that's going to happen. I mean, who knows? The Panthers might trade out of the second round and go to pick 10 and pick up a superstar after they've already drafted a pick 8. Who knows? The Texans did that. They went 2 and 3 back to back picks, and it
Yeah, they
worked out
did.
very well. Stuff like that
Sure
happens all
did.
the time.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yep.
I say if we get the player at the number right, I think that still counts.
Yeah. I'm with you. Totally agree.
All right. Well, this was a lot of fun. We'll do more. Thank you guys for joining us with the Ground Grind with Andrew and Lance. We got more in store, more news, more mock drafts, a lot more fun. Be sure and like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. We could use as much traffic as we can get. We're just getting this train rolling, and we could use a little momentum. We can use a little help.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys again soon.